Well, hello, and welcome. This is Joanne with the Jewel Design. Good morning. Hopefully this is a happy Tuesday. Hopefully this is a happy Tuesday. Oh, it is cold. It's definitely autumn. Oh, hopefully you guys had a great weekend with the autumn, officially autumn season kicking in for most of you. Of course, overseas and in other parts of the hemisphere and planet. I think you guys are coming out of winter, heading into spring type of thing, kind of idea. So, but I hope that your weekend was well and all is going good. I know here in my neck of the woods, fall is officially here and we're feeling it. It is still occasionally getting into 80 degrees, but we're been low to mid 70s, and it is definitely cooling off at night. It's like we wake up in the morning a little cold. But it's great. It's been wonderful, and I'm hoping we keep it and it keeps going, and we start getting more showers, and we actually have a good fall and a full winter. So we'll cross our fingers on that. But today you can see it is definitely fall on my table. We are working with the newest Autumn Gathering Volume 2 kit in my Etsy shop. I know Lorette Chandler started it with it last week and yesterday. So if you follow her, of course, then you're following me. So yes, we she started her lunch bag journal, and she got to it before I could. I'm like, woohoo! But today we are working on a Pressboard ring binder, and I bought this little kit probably at Michael's. It actually has, this is a front cover. It's actually that little, not fleur-de-lis, it's like, what is that, paisley type thing. And it's really pretty. I think for the back, as a little bit of detail, and I think I'll try to go over it with a brush. We will maybe use the distressed ink stuff, and maybe we'll try to enhance some of the embellished areas. But that's gonna be the back instead of making it the front. And I know it may be great texture, but that's a lot to put on one cover. So we're actually gonna use this as the back. We're gonna flip it over, and I'm gonna cover the inside. Use this, like I said, we'll do a little bit of stencil, sort of stencil-y enhanced work with the ink, and just leave it as something nice to work with. But instead we have the front with the bank rings. We have 6 boards on the inside, which gives us 12 pages, and we're going to do this. This is my sample piece. We're going to take all the decorative pages and we're going to put them kind of in half and go front and back with each one with a tab of some sort on it. And then, so that these become sort of the writing boards to the pages that are going to sit on top. This is actually not going to be our front cover. We're going to walk right into journal pages right off the bat, I think. Because, I could use this as a writing board. But they were going to put a set of journal pages and coffee dyed papers on the top of each of the press boards, so that you do have writing in between each one of these. But you have the, all my fun decorative pages here ready to go. You could still decorate these, but keep in mind that makes it less and less of a writing board if we get it too busy. Now we could leave this one alone and then decorate the back one, knowing you always have one underneath for the pages that you're working on. So there's that option. But we're going to work on that today. We're going to get a couple of these done so you can see what I had in mind. And then, if not today, probably Thursday. I'm trying to go every other day. Thursday we're going to work on some of the pages, so you see what my ideas were to keep them thick enough for here. We have the front cover. I have elements off to the side here. As you can see, I had a goof up. I was trying to figure out how to print these. Oh, aren't these all cute? These are all your fussy cuts. I want to use them for the front cover. But I was trying to figure out how to get these to fit the right size. I'm like, oh, I need them like 5x7-ish. And I put the pages side by side, 2 up, and I was like, wait, that's too small. That's a whole page. I was having a complete brain fart. So anyway, but I have them, which is fine because it's not a big deal. I thought, oh, I can do something else with them, which I did. I took the other page and just folded them in half and glued them together to make it sort of like an instantly backed card. I'm actually going to use it to put the bookmark page on it, and we're going to stick the whole thing into a pocket. So it totally, you can pull it out and you have a card, and we're gonna put it to good use. But then I realized that this half here would make a great addition as a card here, and then layer up all the leaves and the pumpkins a little bit more 3D-ish on the front cover. So we have that to work on. So there is plenty to work on and plenty to do. So we definitely have 2 or 3 more videos of this. I still have one more video of the Blue Autumn that I started over, last week. I think on the weekend we did it. We started it on Friday. Friday we started the blue autumn one. I did some of the pieces on camera. Some are on Instagram. So they're all over the place. So I have a mess here. So let's see if we can clean this mess up just a little bit. I don't want to lose my tags. So I'm going to use my labels and my tabs as for our tabs here. And really when it's closed, you can just barely see it. But I think it'll make a nice addition and a nice little tweak. So I'm going to move my potential cover to the side. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this. I'm also going to rip parts of this up and help with the cover. So I'm stoked about that. We're going to use this for the inside of both covers. We're going to almost fully, I think we'll keep it the same concept, but I'll make sure it's really tight here. And, you know, we're going to use this for the covers, inside both covers for a nice pop of color. I'm not worried about today. Like I said, I have stuff everywhere. So these are our little, in your fussies, you got these little 1-inch, you can take your 1-inch circle punches and you can go around the pumpkins. You know, you can also cut the pumpkins out perfectly, but I thought these would make cute little dangle things. All right. So we'll have to see if we want to punch holes in any of these tabs and put little dangles on them. Yeah. And I want to incorporate these guys somehow. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. So I'm either going to have to glue them to the front or something. I don't know. I really want to put those in there. I've got markers to do any kind of on the wax in the water and see if I can, you know, do any kind of splotch work. I have a lot of ideas. How much of it's going to get on the camera, I don't know. Because it all takes time. So, this was fun, but definitely interesting to do. Because trying to figure out where to place these and we'll leave that one punched in and we'll just start working on the rest of this. I'm like, I don't know. I thought we could try to do a template, but I figured each page was sort of had to be eyeballed as we went, which is a bummer. I know it's not super easy to do it that way, but it just got to the point where to do this, it wasn't a, you know, clean cut, go through it. Now I did already distress and cut around, not distress, but did the decal edge around the outside. So now it's just right down the middle doing the decal edge and then trimming it each page to fit, because they are a little tall. So I have to trim off a little bit top and bottom that makes the most sense on each one. Like here, I don't want to cut much more of him off. So I'm going to cut more of the leaf off the top. This one, I can cut top and bottom. Not a big deal. So things like that. It depends what I want to stand out. I may not want to cut certain things off. Yes, you distress around the edges. We're rounding the corners. We distress, and then I do distress the pressboard. So it gives it a nice rustic sort of grungy feel. Because this kit definitely has this yummy vintage fall feel. My mom said she was very vintagey. So I was trying to debate, like, do I do the pages for the front and back pages as like I did with a journal, to where, okay, the front of this one would be the back of another one, and I thought, oh, that is going to get really complicated. So what I'm doing, I pretty much just did is putting the right on the right, the left on the back of each page, unless there's something like I maybe really want that one on the front, so I may flip that around and make that right front, left back. But each page technically is going to be on each board, and then a somewhat coordinating tab to go with it. So I didn't think about that. I'm like, I better start looking at those, huh? Which ones do I like with which? That goes with that one. Like really quickly here. Am I coming up short? No. All right, I see. So I have, let's see. Maybe. Or that one has some of that color, so maybe we'll do it that way. Okay, so I sort of wanted the tabs to sort of go with it. I do want to keep in mind that when I'm doing it, though, that I may have every other, or I have this tab, then this tab, then this tab. So I could make them all, but I have to keep in mind that when I do the back or the front, it's placement top or bottom. So that's the next one. Let's see, what direction do we want to go in? So I did the tab on this one, then we want to do that one next. And that one maybe, and then that one. Oh, I love this one, but I love them all. It's a problem. There's not one I do or don't love. It's good in that order. Okay, so that way I know that I'm working my way down and back up with the tabs. I have each one every other in a way. It doesn't mean the 3 and 3. Now I could do it towards 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Which is probably what's going to happen. So even it's tab, round, tab, but then it's going to go tab, round, no, round, tab, grab. So it's going to vary, I think, if I do this right. if I keep it every other and then work my way back up, it should be different ones no matter what we do. And that's my OCD side, sorry. Where I'm like, oh, we have to have it this way. Can't help it. I just can't help it. So how are we all doing? It is a Tuesday morning for everyone. It is my Monday morning, but God, I was supposed to do this over the weekend, and it was a very busy weekend, people. I wanted to do a lot of my videos last week, but then, like I said, I would have nothing to talk about. I would be so like, oh, I did it all, and now what? So, no, we had a busy weekend. Mostly with my youngest. She was the one that, you know, had a weekend going. She had her color guard stuff, so she had practice Thursday night. She, for a rehearsal, or had practice and then a rehearsal, and they got to perform with the high school band. And so that was a huge deal. And they do it once a year where they sort of get them introduced to why they're doing what they're doing and what their goals are. And like, hey, now I'm thinking about turning these guys long ways instead of going short with them. Because I feel like if I just do them short, they're going to be sort of stumpy. And I think I'd like them better long. Personally. That's front for me. Yeah, no, they get a chance once a year to, you know, perform with the band, with the high school band. Because that's what they're striving for, is that they're working now and hope they love it. They will continue on. I'm trying to see if there's any way to figure this out if I did this evenly. They will move on to the high school band, and a high school color guard. So the goal was to, you know, get a feel for what that meant. And it was fun. So they, color guard both works, of course, with the halftime show with the band, but they had the junior high kids stand with a number of the color guard regiment and for high school, and they were like cheerleaders. They were right in front of the band, so the band's up in the bleachers, they're down on the track, and then you've got your cheerleaders, of course, off in the middle, and we're off to one side. And so we were sort of an extra set of cheerleading. And so every time our team made a touchdown, a chunk of girls, mostly girls, our cheerleading group. Now, I hate to lose the tab. And because I'm gluing it literally onto the pressboard, and I'm not wrapping it around, I'm just gluing it underneath one page, I may try really hard to just leave it where we can actually see the little indents, which I love. The whole point's the indents. So we'll give that a shot. They got to cheerlead. They had a routine that they were going to do every time. It was just the right amount of time to do it. They were going to do a flag routine every time they did a touchdown. So they were up the first round, and did she get the first round first touchdown or second? First or second touchdown, she was out there with the field because they would rotate after a while. They're like, okay, if they made a touchdown, then they would split the team in half, and then the next team would go up. And they'd stand there, and they'd wait, and they'd wait, and they'd wait. Poor guys. Wait for the next touchdown. And Lizzie, of course, both rounds waited forever. I think at one point they rotated in and out, and then it was like, so timing worked, but the first time they did, I got so excited that I forgot. Well, I didn't forget. I hit the video button, and then but because of that, I was so excited, I forgot to hit the record button. Or I forgot, I thought I hit it. I hit video and was excited, and that was it. And then, yeah, I stood there, and I'm following her, and she did such a great job. And I went to go turn off the video and realized I turned on the video. Oh, my God, I was so frustrated. I was like, oh, my God. I'm like, well, you know, we've made 2 touchdowns. We're doing good. The JV team did such a great job. We'll be fine. No. Oh, I got lucky. Literally the last minute of the game, we are close to the field goal. I had already moved down closer a little bit earlier, thinking, okay, we're almost there. We're going to get one. And of course, the other team, intercepts. And I was like, gosh darn it. So but I stayed down. I stayed down where I could get a good film job. And I waited and I waited. And we're down to the last minute. And sure enough, we snuck one in. We didn't win. We lost by 3 points. And that's only because we kept intercepting and blocking all the extra points that they didn't get any farther ahead of us. But yeah, no, they beat our butts by 3, but they were determined. Yeah, no, so it's just the last minute they get in there and they get to do it, and she's all excited, and so I make sure I hit the button this time, and I got to record her doing it. It wasn't the best performance, but it was still really good. She had one area in her routine that she struggled with the whole time, but for the most part. And at that point, they're freezing. They're cold. They're having a hard time holding on to their poles because everything is just numb and they're not moving around enough. And oh my God, I felt bad. But no, it was definitely a learning experience. And they got to be around, the kids and their own kids. And then of course the older kids. So they get to meet the kids that, maybe were at their junior high last year and they're freshmen now, or, a lot of the kids do come into our practice on Thursdays because they don't have practice on Thursdays. So the high school comes over and helps out the coach and, teaches them how to do things correctly, because the high school requires a very specific, style and proper etiquette. And, there's a certain way to hold things and flip things. And so the bad habits aren't taught. So yeah. I don't know. It was great, but it was 4 hours where I froze from pretty much the word go. First it was super windy, and then as the sun went down, oh my God, it got cold fast. I mean, it was 58 degrees by, I don't know, by 9 o'clock. No, it was cold. I don't know. I just remember it was cold, and we didn't get home till 11 o'clock. It was a long day. Okay, so I distressed everything because I didn't want to forget. Now, last time I forgot, and so I glued it to the back, but I think we can vary it. I do think I want this one on the front. It is absolutely adorable. I know I put stuff, sometimes I got a number of things on the left side, which I know is frustrating. But in some ways, you can flip it. You flip it this way, it's on the left back. You flip it this way, and it's still on the left no matter what. Just depends how you want to see it with your pages. So it's not a bad thing for once. Then you can pocket and do things on your right. Add more, whatever. And the left side's always pretty, so I don't know. But I guess when I thought about it, I was like, well, I'm going to play with it anyway. So I had a different thought process. Sorry. I know. People are mad at me going, why'd you do that? No, I like more green and whatever. Okay. So this is the fun part. This is the barely glue it down. Yeah, I noticed. Oh, it's from the pin. But I noticed I'm getting a lot of and I think it has to do with the pen. These sewing pins are not whatever, so they're not, of course I put it on that side. Oh. I guess it doesn't really matter. Like it doesn't really matter left or right. This one is a little bit more bowed and softer, so it's probably the front. I hear my dishwasher running. That's so funny. All right. That's pretty good. Maybe move it down just a smidge. Yeah, I'm just on the edge because I don't want to lose too much of the tab because I'm going to be able to see it, but I also don't want it, both ways to where it's too bulky in or on the paper. All right, so there's that. So I'm making tabs. See on the back, all good. It's all good. A little trim maybe, but we'll see. Yeah, I've been putting this pin in here, and of course it's rusting. Wooed. All right. So I won't leave it in there. I forgot about that. I forgot that those rust. So it leaves me. Not that we're going to see the glue, but let's not get rust in there. That's all we need, right? Yeah, I'm struggling with this thing. Like I said, I still need to go get a new one. I really do. New tip, because I bunked that one out of place. Okay, so here's the fun part. Now this one I can top and bottom. I can take it a little bit off, and it fits nicely. Usually pretty much down the middle works. So I just fold it in half and then cut it, or somewhat fold it in half so I have an idea. Because I really can't measure it. Let's see. I hate folding it because then I have to try to get that one, but let's see where we at. About 4.5, a little past 4.5 it looks like. Okay. There was 4.5 and I'm going to smidge over. So let's try that. And there's a line I sort of folded, so no, I'm just going to go off that line. I sort of folded it, so let's just do it. And this is where it's not perfect in everything we do. The heck was that? Well, I wasn't expecting anything, so what the hell? It just fell down. Oh, gosh, how many knows? I don't know if I want to know. It sounds like delivery, but I didn't order anything. Okay, hold on one second. I hate to pause, but something's bugging me, and I want to make sure everything's okay. One moment. Okay, sorry about that. No idea. I don't know if it's maybe one of my neighbors. We have a sort of a plate-ish area or a manhole in the middle of our cul-de-sac, and I don't think anything of it because I don't go over it. I'm not in the end of my cul-de-sac, but the two trucks that with my two guys that work work trucks. So yeah, I need to cut off, you know, yay much of it. And I want to sort of even it out. So I just go ahead and cut top and bottom, cut it pretty smooth. And I do like the idea that we rounded the corners. Now, because the front of this is rounded, the roundness sort of helps, it, in case the pages are a little off, rounding the corners definitely helps. Now I'm going to have a lot of cute little strips left over, and I have a feeling I'm doing something with them. I'm like, these are adorable, right? So I have a hoard. So I may be making another weaved, see, I have all these pieces from the first one. So I might be making another weaved journal card to go in here. So I will have a pocket, I think, on the front and back. As you saw, you know, we had the one pocket, so I may do that. No, not enough. Really? Huh. Thought I didn't need to cut that much off, but yeah, I'm looking at the other ones. They do need to be a little more. So, all right, we'll cut a little more off the top and try to maneuver this. It's not exact science. I probably should measure it, and that would probably help. Why would I do that? So I know where I need to be. Wow, this one just does not want to come down, does it? I'm like, I don't. It doesn't want to come down. I'm being too timid about it, apparently. Because the last thing I want to do is cut too much. But yeah, I know I needed to cut more than I thought. Okay, so this is the tentative size. So what is this at? Let's just see. Can I even measure it? Not on this one. Of course not. Bummer. Yeah, because it only stops at 6, and I need another half an inch. So it's about 6.5 inches tall. Yeah, that's going to be, yeah. I'm just going to pay a little bit more attention. I think it looks like I did the same thing with the other one. I took my time and slowly start cutting it down. So I guess it's better to go in small sections than overcut, and then you're like, oh, I didn't need all that. Now, here's where this is not a science. And before I do that, let's make sure I ink it. I did ink everything. I have been inking it all because it just keeps to, like the first cover didn't need a lot of inking because it's already so dark. So like this one has a lot of white, and so I feel like it needs a little inking to help it out. So am I in camera? I'm on the edge of camera. Edge of camera, not good. Okay. I don't know. I seem to be off on my camera settings again. I don't know. Well, you don't do anything for a while. But anyway, let's just get a little bit. It helps sort of blend into that brown. Love, like Laura found out with the paper sacks, the State Blaze sacks, that brown is really pretty behind this kit. So, yeah. Alright, so the Pressboard of this one works just as well. So there we go. So it lays out pretty good. Now, I haven't done the corners yet. I definitely want to do the outside corners. I did realize that the inside corners seemed a little silly because it was flat on that end. Okay, my problem. So I could do just the front ones and leave the back ones straight if I wanted, just to keep the follow instead of doing both front and back. Oh, I don't know. What do you think? I mean, I rounded all the corners on this one. I sort of like just the two, which is not bad. I don't care. Like, I don't care. Maybe every so many pages I do. We'll just see. I know this one does feel like the front and back work. Like they're just the front ones work. So let's try that. Now, so here's the fun part. Here's where I was going to make a template for this, so I knew where to put the hole punches. But then I was like, well, if I'm off, if each page wasn't perfect, then I would have like too much top, too much bottom, and I did not want to take that chance. So I did this a very interesting way. I pretty much put it where I think I want it, and I'm using these clips to keep the page in place. I am flipping it over. I know this is not the scientific way to do this. So not. Then I'm drawing my holes on the back side, of course. Okay, making sure everything's still staying in place. Still feel like I like where things are. Then, this is, like I said, not. Now, here's the other thing. I know this one is getting old. I'm having a hard time. I don't know if it's... I'm actually going to... I may have to go back and touch everything up because, I mean, I'm pulling out a new one. But my new one has been sitting here for months. But that looks a lot darker. So, anyway. I'm like, let's get some ink on this puppy. Let's see what happens. Alright. I'm like, we're going to ink it up a little bit. I'm like, I need more ink. I've been nursing that other one forever, and I should just bought a refill, but I wasn't trying to use them, and I bought all the refills after the fact for all the new kits and all the new ones. Anyway, so I was a little worried that the holes in this were not the same size as this, and come to find out, when I line it up just right, they work beautifully. So what I'm doing is literally tipping it backwards, lining up the hole that I drew with the hole in the hole punch, making sure the hole is sort of even. The one I drew is evenly in the middle of the hole punch one. All right, and punching the hole. Now, it works. I don't know how. I don't know why. But I was stoked that I thought, well, for sure, I thought maybe the paper would be bigger, or I didn't realize that these are all really cute. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I didn't think about that. I may have threw a few away, but I didn't throw all of them away. So now those are cute. Sorry. Those are little decorative pieces. Oh my goodness. So now I lay it down and look, it fits it beautifully. Like there's no worries. Like I'm pretty much on it. Can't explain how or why. I don't, you don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And I just go, and then I don't move my clips. I pretty much go along the edge here. And I'm just, gluing down, getting as much glue as I can on it. Normally I would be doing this with something else, but I figured that due to the nature of the board and stuff, that I need as much glue as possible, and I don't think this is going to be enough. So I just do this, make sure this one side's good. I still move it down to make sure nothing goes awry while I'm doing this, and I go back and do the other side. And yeah, it's not perfect where I probably don't have every single element covered, but I'm more worried about the edges than I am the middle. Really am. Because, we catch the edges all the time. I try to do enough of the middle to where I'm like working it, and I have more of this stuff this time around. So when I was working I haven't worked the pages yet for the Blue Autumn. I'm like having issues with that. I have to glue them front to back, and I want to add lace in between them, and that's another kit of work. All right, take it off, double check in the middle, make sure I didn't miss a spot. This is where so if I feel like, okay, maybe there's a little spot here, add a little in there, press it down, glue it out, and then there you go. And there you go. I am covering my pages. I'm covering these beautiful press boards. And they're nice, they're gorgeous on the right side, to where when you have your pages on top, you can write on it. And so the back, if it's too plain, this is where we could put pockets or, and tucks on the back side, because you're usually over here writing. So, of course, you want to write on the back of the page. It might but we're not going to get too thick with this one. I think we're going to keep things pretty simple, pretty flat. Keep to the flat pieces that I have from the dangles and the, all the cute little stamps and stuff. Sort of wish I made more of those. Now that I look at them, they're really cute. I like those. Yeah, we're going to keep to the smaller, flatter ephemera to decorate, so that we don't have too much, oomph. If not, most of the decorating or most of the pockets might be on the cover. So that's how that works. And then we'll do that to the same thing. So then I do the same thing to the back, because the hole's already been punched. I can do the exact same ordeal. So in this case, we are definitely taking everything off the top, because I don't want to cut any more off the pumpkin. And so some of these you're going to see, you're going to see the tab in the brown. Others, like this one, okay, the tab is on the back side. This tab is on, or front side, back side, whatever. So that works for me. Okay, so let's cut first. And yeah, I want 6.5, but I'm not sure how I'm going to get 6.5. Let's see. Well, 1/2 inch is definitely the pumpkin. Get that down to the 6. I'm sort of eyeballing what's a 1/2 inch. I don't know if you can see. So I'm eyeballing, because this is only a 6 inch. So I'm eyeballing what's 1/2 inch, give or take, right here, right? So I'm going to move that down to the 6 inch mark, and then cut and see what happens. Now it does leave me not the cute small strips, but I can cut these strips in half to make that. I can always then go back and cut these, in half with this and get my strips. Or cuts, now that I know what I'm doing, I have both small and large. So did that work? Did my 6.5? It did. I'm a little bit shorter than the other ones, but it's actually working nicely because it's pretty even all the way around. So we're gonna just make do with every page. Now I am not using a We Are kit. This is an old Creative Memories corner punch, which I love. It's a little bigger and wider than the We Are. And I have a hard time with the We Are. That so-called 90-degree, put it in there. I never seem like, I don't feel like it ever gets in there good enough for me. And I don't get great corners. Not always. Just depends. It's sort of, it's just me. It's my annoyance, I think. I don't think it's anything wrong with it. I just think I don't get it right. So, all right, so let's get our, oh yeah, way more ink. That one little dab, Oh, there's so much more ink on my page, on my thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. That's all right. This is a very light page, so we can definitely touch it up. But that one little push, yeah, I'm getting sort of figured my, and I haven't been out here for a few days, so even though my pad has been properly upside down, I just think that one is empty. It's just done. I think I've toasted. I could probably get it a little wet and put it upside down and see if I can re-moisturize it, but I've had it for a while. It's not like it's been a few months and I overdid it. It's like, nope, I have definitely used it to its full extent. So there we go. We are just covering and got these clips I think when we were at Walmart one day, and I was like, oh, those were sort of cool. And they've been a lifesaver. I've used them to help with the binding. I've used them to help for a number of things. So there we go. See? Make sure they're pretty straight where I think I want it. Because once I do this, there's no going back. Yep. Okay. But yeah, I was trying to figure this out the other day. I did want to do the template and like get a feel for, you know, what this was going to take. But you probably have better ways to do it. I know for some things, yes, templates are great. But I just figured I was trying to eyeball each page accordingly, and I just didn't know if it was going to pan out right. So, well, I have all these cute pieces I'm going to work with. That's nice. All right, and make sure you're upside down, that you're left and right, you know, all that jazz. But yeah, I found washies, and I found the pens, and this is going to be fun, I hope. I'm really looking forward to it. Oops. Hold on. Ugh, let's not lose out in any other little circles here. But yeah, so it's first of fall. I know a lot of people are, you know, we've got all the Halloween kits out. A lot of kits are out for Halloween. Fall's still being created and put out. Gail Gustinelli definitely got all her fall kits done and out to you guys pretty quickly. That was awesome. I was like, wow. I think that's the fastest she's worked on that. I know we've been known to start in August too and be like, okay, by the end of September, like, I don't want to see another autumn to save my life. Other years we're like, yeah, we'll take our time. So, I know she got quite a bit out, and she's on to Christmas. And I'm like, oh, but like I said, I mean, I have to, the first week or so of October, I need to start working on Christmas for you guys. I have one kit that's going to take a little bit more work. I'm hoping to do a vintage Santa sleigh, I don't know, type thing. I don't know if I'm going to do, I know I have vintage Santa images, but I don't know if I'm going to go like Santa's Village. I don't know if where it's going to head up. I don't know which direction it's going to go, but I know I want to do definitely a red-green Santa image ordeal. And then, which is a bummer because she's doing all Santa right now. I'm like, oh, well, I can't work fast enough. And a lot of what she's working with is Gail, is old. Like, they're ours from last year. They're things that she had gotten last year and just never got to. So she's finally going, well, hey, let me work on some old kits. So I don't know how many are new. You know, some people were on it, and I'm like, okay. So I'll get to it. I will get my fall out. I mean, I literally created Christmas from September to like middle of December. I think I did that Dashing Through Winter kit. I put out middle of December, took a break, and then did get a pink Parisian kit out that was pinks and furs and stuff, so you could be sort of winter-ish. I did a Shabby Winter 2 volume 2. But I don't know if I did that in October or if I did that at the end of the year, closer to the end of the year. So I was doing a lot of, you know, Christmas and winter last year. So, or fall and winter last year. So I don't know. All right, there we go. So there's page 2. And yeah, this one I definitely feel like a band, which I have a washi band. I just don't know. It's probably short. It has a pumpkin in it. If I wanted to put a journal card in here, I have a washi band here, which would look nice on this one. So we'll have to see. I did not, I didn't print everything out. I started printing out what I needed immediately for the covers and the pocket and, you know, things like that. I didn't get everything out, so we'll see. But that doesn't mean I won't, you know, it'll all be in here. But things like washi band are not, the end of the world where we're going, oh, do you know how, you know, of course you guys know how to use a washi band. Washi band, belly band, what do you want to call it? All right. So that's what we're just going to keep doing. We're just going to keep going every other. So these guys up here will be cool on the next round because we're going to go tab and then label, tab, label. And that should be, yeah, so that'd be fun. I think it's going to be good. Nice little something different. I know, you know, laces and stuff are always great, and I like the idea of the tabs, so you can see your sections. You can, and you know, some of these you can even label them. If you want to journal according by week, quarter, journal by recipe, by event, by all kinds of things being used on this. So probably the next video will probably be a little bit of pages, show you how I want to enhance pages, and maybe the front cover, because I bet you, yeah, I'm at 35 minutes. Doesn't mean I won't keep going with you guys, but I will try to do the front cover with you guys. I know I didn't do that with the Blue Autumn. I was like, oh, I'm right there and I can't help it, and I wanted to work on it, and the covers work really well. Doing covers as a reel on Instagram works well for me. I'm not talking thousands of views, don't get me wrong, but it is what it is, right? So now this one, I could go either way. I know I want to put pretty much a lot of my left sides on my front because he's so cute. Now this one, we will definitely have to cut the bottom off, cut this brown off, which is the bummer, but I don't want to cut off the cascading leaves. But at the same time, yeah, I'll put them on the back. I guess I'll try to do it every other to where front or back, like, even though I want to put it on the right front. And it works, and I don't, you know, it's a perfect thing for, I'm looking at the top here, and I'm going to sort of cut this to, well, let's see, let me think. Yeah, I'm going to cut it to try straight across the top, and then I will fine tune the bottom. I'm like, wait, how do I want to do this? And with that in mind, so 6.5 is a little much, but we want to, it's a little ripped up top, which is fine. There's my half mark. We're going to bring it down a little bit. Oh, gosh, wouldn't that be bad? Oh, after all that talk, I almost cut all of this off. All right, so there's the 6 mark. Let's do that, give or take. There we go. Quite a bit coming off there. Let's see. I always feel there's a little bit more than it looks. Let's see. No, it's doing pretty good. And I like the fact, this one I might bring it down a little bit more and leave that rougher edge. Now, I could put something on there. I don't know. Lace is not always my favorite thing to do on autumn, but I do have our good old trusty beige. Wow. That comes right off the... Eek! Oh, we haven't stressed this one either. Good Lord. All right. I do have a good old trusty beige lace that we got from Dollar Tree that we use on everything, and that might actually be really pretty behind that edge. So let's see. I know. Let's see what else. So yeah, color guard went well. Friday night, of course. Then it was the we all have marching band in the morning, Mom. Can't the girls just stay at my house? Not all of them. Just she has 2 really good friends and 3 or 4 other acquaintances, of course. And so we had one of the girls at the house from right after school, and then till we left for the left. So oh yeah, it was a day. Like Thursday, wasn't bad. One mom takes them usually to practice, so she did that. Then she dropped off mine, kept the other 2 or the other 3, her own and her 2 more, and then took them back to rehearsal. Lizzie came home. I took her to rehearsal, but then she brought her home from rehearsal. I'm like, okay, that is so much darker. I may have to touch up these. I may have to touch these up just a little bit. I'm like, oh no, it's a fresh thing. I'm like, oh wow, that is a big difference. All right, yeah. I almost thought, wouldn't it be fun if I could? I think it's more of a paint. This would be so cool to have the edges gold tipped. Like actually see a gold on here would be so cool. But I think it needs to be gold paint, like more of because a Sharpie ain't gonna work. A Sharpie's just gonna soak in. But we needed one of those old, what is it? It's like a marker, but it's thicker. It's like the metallic paint in a pen. And they need, that's what we need, right? I'm like, that would be so cool to be sort of a gold. Right now you can sort of see the difference. You can start seeing the difference between the tan and the not so. What I've inked and what I haven't, which is still great. Which of course with the ink it may be really hard to try to get anything on it. But if I found a gold pen, wouldn't that be cool? To gold tip them. Or at least the cover. The cover might be cool to set the tips. I don't know. I don't have any of those foil painted like type pins, I don't think. I'll have to look and see if anything in my stash has that, but I do not have it. I need to think of what it is. I mean, it's That's a graffiti pen, but that's just like a gray. But it's like this, really thick, you know. It's a fabric marker, but we need something like, because I know that's an Expo, but I know just a Sharpie isn't metallic enough, and it would just soak right in. I mean, I can try, but I think I've done it before, and it doesn't really show up. So, I'm like, ugh, to play with stuff. But, so anyway, so Thursday, yeah, so I got to go out with my friends with a quick glass of wine and a little dessert while she was at practice Thursday night, and I said, okay, girl, I'm going to come get you. And she's like, no, I'll get a ride home. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm home. You know, I'm here. No, Mom, just go home. I'm fine. So I checked with our friend. I said, okay, well, do you mind bringing her home? I can go back out and get her. But she's like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. I said, okay, well, I know you're not going to be here Friday, so, you know, I'll take up the flag here, and I'll take the girls, you know, to practice or to rehearsal, and I'll stay there at the game with them and everything. So it was a good trade-off. Like we worked that. Hold on one second. I'm going to find my roll of, make sure it's not the white one. One of these sometimes looks really white, so I got to be careful I don't get the wrong one. Not that I haven't distressed it even more to make it, I think that's it. I know we had 2 or 3 rolls at one point. I still have not gotten all my stuff onto, that's white. I'm finding all my oh, there's the other beige one. Okay, I just want to make sure, because I know at one point there was white. And that is, nope, they're both beige. Okay. Or as beige as they're going to get. So I still need to get all kinds of stuff on Celeste's pretty purple toppers. I still haven't done it. I feel so bad. I'm like, no. Not that, I mean, of course she would, not, you know, not for her, but like, I can't even find them right now. Oh, these, yeah. See? I need to get all my laces, all my wrap, all my weird pieces on Celeste's pretty pieces. And my baskets would look so much better. Okay, I'm really tempted because we have this odd gap on top. And it's not odd, it's just like it's off-centered, but I think it has a really cool effect. Sometimes we have a ripped page. It's sort of fun to clean it up and maybe add the lace behind it. It picks out the top. Maybe, should we try? Why not? So there's another way to just enhance and change, and sometimes I do it backwards. No, I don't really want that to stick out. I want that to stick out. Okay. I just don't know which one's right. This one's hard because with the Dollar Tree stuff that you really, yeah, it's hard to tell which way is which. Ugh, drives me insane. Let's see if we can straighten it out. And then we would just try to glue it across the top here enough to where, I always trim it down, but all right, let's see. So yeah, so then Friday, Friday, I brought my daughter and one of the girls home. The other one, she's right up the street, so she went home first, grabbed a bunch of stuff, and the usual carpool mom grabbed her at 4:30, brought her to her house. An hour later, I drop off my oldest to her friend's house. She wasn't feeling super social. I was like, fine, leave me alone, leave me all by myself at the game. I only take him to one other game. I think her freshman year, I took her and her friend, my oldest, her and her friend, and my daughter and me went to our first, game. Dad wasn't feeling good. Freshman year. So he couldn't get home in time, and then he was just dead tired. The idea of him walking with his hip, he just wasn't gonna fly. So I took the girls. It was fun. We went to the JV game, and we hung out a little bit into the varsity, but it was getting crowded, so that didn't last very long, which is fine. At least they went. I'm like, sweet, you guys made an attempt, and one girl never been to a football game, so we're like, okay, then you need to, you totally at least have once in your life you need to go to a high school football game. Come on. So we hadn't been in 2 years, and so it was like, girl, but she didn't want to go. She left me all alone. Of course, I had bought her ticket already, so I made a nice donation to the school that night. Oh well. So anyway, dropped her off and picked up the other two. So I had 4 color guard band girls in my car. Got them to school. I got them to their practice. Walked over and watched the game for a while. But I was on my own, which was really weird. I really didn't. That wasn't really needed, which is also weird. I'm used to being like the helping parent all the time. And she's like, "No, we're good." And I mean, of course, after the halftime game, it was, "Mom, I need cash." But I was going to get her food. We weren't sure they could eat. And they're like, no, the high schoolers were going to take chunks of them down over to the food barn, as they call it. All right, so what do you think? Oh, it's going to be cute. Super cute. Okay. So they got their food. And so it was an odd night, but it was good. They most of the girls got to do their thing 2 to 3 times, which is great. They did, let's see, 1, 2 through 3. Let's see, 3 and 7 is 21. Yeah, it's okay. 3 with a, whatever touchdowns. So yeah, they made 3. They got to do 3 touchdowns and 1 2-point conversion, maybe. They're at 23 when they were done. So I know they were 16 at one point, and then they were 23. So yeah, I guess they missed one or two of the after points, but the extra points didn't all go as planned. But neither did the other side. The other side kept trying to do 2-point conversions, and we did a lot of them. We did, stop in their tracks, thank God. So, but otherwise it would have been way worse. But yeah, so they got to perform twice. Like I said, I was really lucky at the end that literally down to the last minute, and we make in our last point, and they get to perform, but they're tired. But I got to record it so that my mom and my dad and any family member, can see what she's doing. So when I ask for fundraisers and I ask for help, and they go, oh yeah, that's what she's doing. But now we're down to just parade events, like, and then whatever we need to do to help. It's mostly parade and marching events. So now she has Thursday practice for color guard and then marching practice on Saturday mornings. But yeah, so after all that, God, it's 10:30, we're trying to check out. And I go, we all have marching band in the morning, Mom. And so 2 extra girls came home, so they all crashed in the living room on the couch and on the floor. Oh, it's super cute. And I forgot, but this time we'll do the tag on the back. And I lost the tag, didn't I? It's not that one, because, I noticed lately, anybody else notice all of a sudden these tops are not as tight? Like this first one, I've had no problems with. Never had it fall off. But I noticed every one I've bought since is loose. To when you put them upside down, you can, they come right out. And I'm a little perturbed about that. I'm almost tempted to see. No, I think they just made the boxes a little bit bigger so they're not as snug. Well, that's a bummer. Well, that is sort of annoying. Because we put them upside down so we don't, make a mess out of them. And I don't know. Okay. Where is my, oops, blue. Blue doesn't belong over here. Oh, because I popped something open? Oh, it ripped out or something. I'm like, wait a minute, this was all together. I have a mess. You should see my side table. It's just covered. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So the first thought was to put them over front and back. But then they'd have a gap, and, I didn't care for that. So, yeah, we're just doing it the way we do it. Well, at least you can see my crazy process here. That's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. We're just covering pages. And of course, I think it's probably the last one I get to do with you guys. But you can see me add a little lace to it. But yeah, you can add tabs to it. You can add lace to it. Whatever you want to do. Otherwise, you would just put holes in. You could always, I don't know if you can get through the pressboard. You could always put a hole in the pressboard to do a dangle. There are plenty of ways to work around, ways to decorate these boards where they don't feel, super plain. Like I said, we're going to probably decorate every so often, so many of the back ones to put a pocket or a belly band or something on them, because we want to be able to have a little bit of, play with them, since we are going to make sure that the rest of them, the pages are going to be pages. So we're not going to only decorate the writing pages. You are sort of using the decorative pages in their own right. I was like, well, I got these. And how am I going to get writing pages in here? And I'm like, I only have so many in there that they give you. And I was like, well, wait a minute. And then I was like, oh, wait. They can be sort of like the writing boards for each section of pages. And so the pages are going to be, we're going to put them on packing paper. We're going to use coffee dyed. Hoping the coffee dye will stay thick enough on its own. Alright, so let's eyeball where the next one needs to be. Well, decently stretched, moved out, but not too much left or right. Oh, wrong one. Let's do about here. There we go. Oh, what is wrong with my... There we go. Yeah, I know it's the pencils I'm using are getting funky. Now I know why they were pretty inexpensive at Target. I'm like, now I know why they're inexpensive at Target. Okay, there we go. I like this one, so I'm going to probably have the more... I think I'm having the darker colors stick out. What do you think? Just to have some contrast, because I know the other ones are light. So we'll do a darker one on the bottom. I think we're about done, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think I have much more time for you. I think I'm about done. Here we are working on the new kit. I will work on pages and cover with you guys next. And that will be Thursday's thing. And then I think the week on Saturday we'll get back to we'll do the fun pocket. The fun Rite Aid, pharmacy bag pocket on the inside cover of the journal. And I'll show you what I did with those. I'll show you what I did with those pages. Those are gluing them front and back. Also doing the rough trim edges. And gluing some lace in between the pages before I glue them down, because I don't want to put lace on one side or the other, because I see something like in between it. It's a perfect flip. So that's an idea for those. So yeah, I'll have to show you guys all that on Saturday. And then I'm hoping this week, on top of everything else, to really get these done. And so that way, beginning of next week, I can just flip through them. And if someone needs a last minute autumn, an autumn journal for October, November, because these usually go out pretty quickly. I'm able to pretty much get them mailed out within just 1 to 2 days. 3 at worst case, but that's it. And then, I do priority mail, so they go out pretty quickly and all that jazz. So now we cut this off on the other side, so I'm assuming we're just going to cut it off on this end too. Just so again, we have pumpkins and all that fun stuff and distress it. So we are definitely just, finding our niche and trimming it off. I mean, I could leave it because we put the lace on the other side, but we do want to keep just somewhat of a consistency here. There we go. Like I said, these are just cut in half if I need to, and I have all these gorgeous. I am going to have gorgeous tips for another small. See, and then so then I get my fingers in it trying to catch it. I'm not so sure I'm happy about that. All right. So yeah, this is what we're doing. We're just covering up the Pressboard pages with the pretty decorative pages in my new Autumn Gathering 2 kit. Great way to revamp and update the first kit. You can get the Autumn Gathering journal kit from 3 years ago. It's still up. It's in my seasonal category of my. Well, they all are seasonal catalog category in my Etsy shop. There's quite a few in there. We've been showing off quite a few. The Nova, the Blue Autumn. What else? The Fanciful Fall, if you like more jeweled colors. And that got cut really short. Eek! Well, crap. Well. Okay, well, let's get creative then. What if we added... Well, maybe I'm going to put it back in. How did that one come up so much shorter? I don't get it. See, this is what I worry about. Trying to, measure it, and I overdid it. Well, I could add it back in as a decorative. Go over the top. It is the back. I could leave it open. I know I have washies for this, but there's no point doing that. What I could do though is just take I have that swatch. I don't know what I'm doing with that one yet, but I have that other page of clustered. I have this one, and I could decide to pick like a section of something. Like, the green one's not long enough. That's a bummer. I could take this one, rip it and make it a up tuck for a card. We could do that. Okay, so we're gonna glue it down where it stands, because I think I want it a little deep. Whatever I do, a little deeper to actually be able to tuck something up in there. But I could do this one. I could lap the. Where did it just go? I lost the piece I was just working. Oh, there it is. I mean, I can even overlap it to where, I can make it do that, and just do layers, and we could make a nice little scrappy header to this page and make it a tuck. Okay, well, I guess that's what we're doing. So not to waste time, let's get it glued down. So we're going to go to the bottom with it. We're going to clip it in place. I'm leaving things exposed. Uh-oh, all my tops. I know better. All right, let's get it where we think we want it, because we got to get, yeah. I was like, please tell me I hole punch the other one. I'm talking and I'm sort of on autopilot, which is good. It means I've got this and it's not super hard to work with, but geez, let's not make a mess out of this thing. That would be just bad. I don't know if I have the time. Let me get it glued, and then if I have a few minutes, we can try to cluster the top. How's that? Well, so we know we want a belly band maybe on the other one. We've got, we're going to have a tuck on this one. But again, they're flat, but pretty easy. They're not going to overly, interfere, I think, with any real writing. Because we don't want to do that. Not that any, journal that we do doesn't always, it's why we do. If they're really involved, we try to give you guys a writing board so that you can put it behind your pages. So there's a reason for that, right? All right, so see, there we go. I knew at some point, I was so excited trying to get ahead of the game, that I wasn't paying attention. Okay, I gotta fold it down enough, just fast enough to, well, best laid plans and all that jazz. Luckily, everything can be re-glued, but if you make the circles too small, you definitely want to make sure that you just keep them centered. That's all you have to do, and you should be okay. Oh, it's white on white. There's no fun on that one. All right, and that's not going to stay, but I'd be surprised, maybe. Well, lined up still okay. A little tight, a little short, but annoying, and it's not the end of the world. Yeah. It's all about timing, right? Let's go in. Okay, well, we saved it. We were so worried about the top and the fact that I cut it short. I was like, no, but yeah, we did the same thing with the blue autumn. Like that one blue in the back was like, oh, that's a little short. And it's fine. Oh, you'll get to see. I covered it up. It looks great. You do get to see me on Saturday. Lay out the brainstorming on that one. Well, I brainstormed it on Instagram. You'll see that on Friday. And or Facebook, I guess, if you look for it. I don't know how well my Facebook comes up. It says it plays it on Facebook, but, I don't know who sees it. So there's a Facebook reel of the brainstorming of the back cover, and then, of course, Saturday you will actually see me glue it all down once I think I figured it all out, which is great, and we'll work on the pocket. So, okay. So we have the front. We have the back. And I am 57 minutes. Darn it. Okay. Yeah, we're toast, people. So we are. I really love this coloring. I think it looks good with this, so we will utilize. I did a couple things I didn't do with that. We will utilize this lovely piece. We will make it a tuck on this side. We punch the holes if necessary. All that good jazz. And we'll sort of make a little strippy pocket tuck up here so we can put a journal card right up there, which is always a lovely thing to do. I might even put this one up there. I sort of like that, so we'll see. Depends what the other pages are. Yeah, that might go up there. So, we'll see. I don't know. We have plenty of room and plenty of things to choose from. I do have journal cards for this guy, so it's not like I can't go print those up, which I was just debating on anyway. So, we are going along, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, thank you so much for joining me here. This is Jolene with the Jewel Design. We are working on the Autumn Gathering Volume 2, which I will link down below if you click on the upside down triangle, or you click on the show more in the description, depending on how your app reads. And yeah, we are, we've got working on my second autumn kit for this season, probably the only one. It's only going to be the two. The blue autumn, if you want more for princessy Victorian feel, then you have that. If you want more of an old school vintage grungy autumn, we have this. And that one, there we go. So that's how it would sit. There's the tabs. You've got it closed in here somewhere. Those knots or something. I don't know why. I love the fact that you have to have the hinges, but where do you put the hinges? It's sort of annoying when they don't go anywhere. Anyway, all right, so there's the tabs. We're going to have 3 more. They'll vary from these, where it'll be two labels and one tab in the back. So we've got variances, which is always awesome. And I'm just using the decorative pages front and back on each one of the press boards to make them writing boards so that we can put pages in between, and it's still going to be a simpler journal. But when we're talking about autumn is either 3 months or 1 month, depending on how you do it. And you don't, sometimes you don't need as much, but I'm hoping to get enough pages where you at least get 30 days out of here, and 30 days to write in for autumn, however you want us to do it. And we're gonna go from there. So love you all. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you will come back on Thursday and see how this is going with pages and covers. And Saturday we'll be doing some more work on the blue autumn fairy tale, so I can finish that one up. And then hopefully they'll be up for sale come next week. So love you all very much. Thank you so much for liking, loving, commenting, hitting notifications, making sure you are following along, because I come in spurts, so you never know. So without those notifications, you do not know if I'm up and running without doing some massive scrolling on your, YouTube channel. So love you all. Thank you very much. And I will talk to you all very soon. Bye-bye.